You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. It is Tuesday, October 17th. We begin with international news in today's update on the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. Additional bombing takes place, which raises the death toll to more than 2,700 people. Meanwhile, tension is rising among other countries. RJ Camacho has this report.
On October 17th, it was reported that Israel had bombed the southern region of the Gaza Strip, where Palestinians were told to evacuate to last week. Israel's military stated that it was targeting Hamas hideouts, infrastructures, and command centers. The strike was allegedly successful due to reports of a top Hamas commander having been killed. The commander was Ayman Nafal, who was reported to be in charge of Hamas activities in the central Gaza Strip, and was stated to be a part of the creation of the group's Joint Operations Room. However, the UN Human Rights Office has decried reports of the civilians being killed while fleeing to southern Gaza. Spokeswoman Reina Shamdasani stated that appalling reports that civilians attempting to relocate to southern Gaza were struck and killed by an explosive weapon must be independently and thoroughly investigated, as must all allegations of serious violations of international humanitarian law. However, more than 2,700 are now dead, with approximately 9,700 wounded and 1,200 trapped or buried underneath the rubble, according to Gaza's health ministry. 2/3 of those reported killed were children. Paramedics as well were killed in airstrikes on October 16th when Israel attacked the civil defense headquarters in Gaza City. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated that, "We are not just fighting our war, we're fighting the war of all civilized countries and all civilized people." Although Israel troops have gathered at the border for the expected ground assault, there has still been no decision made yet on it, according to Lieutenant Colonel Richard Hecht. However, Iran warned that should Israel launch their ground offensive, that it may enter the war. In other news regarding the war, it was reported by Iran's foreign ministry that Hamas is potentially ready to release the near 200 hostages they have, contingent on Israel halting their airstrikes on the Gaza Strip. However, Hamas itself has yet to acknowledge making this offer. According to the spokesman for the Iranian Foreign Ministry, Nasir Kanani, Hamas stated that they are ready to take necessary measures to release the citizens and civilians held by resistant groups, but their point was that such measures require preparations that are impossible under daily bombardment by the Zionists against various parts of Gaza. It was also stated that Hamas would trade the hostages for thousands of Palestinians that are being held by Israel. Speaking of other countries potentially taking part in the war, Lebanon is currently trying to ease tensions along the southern border due to Hezbollah's consistent actions against Israel. While the government of Lebanon is critical of Israel, and remains so, it was reported that a new war would further devastate the economy in Lebanon and put the lives of 6.5 million people at risk. However, Hezbollah, the Lebanese militant group, continues to raise tension. On October 16th, it was reported that the group destroyed Israeli surveillance cameras for several Israeli army posts along the Lebanon-Israel border. Hezbollah itself also reported that its fighters have targeted 5 different Israeli posts along the aforementioned border later that day.
Meanwhile, NATO is undergoing nuclear exercises that will last until October 26th.
This week, NATO will be holding a major nuclear exercise, according to the alliance chief, on October 12th. This exercise is reported to be held annually and runs for about a week. The exercise does not involve live bombs, however, it is reported that it does involve fighter jets that are capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Keep in mind that the jets are, once again, not carrying any live bombs. Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg stated that, "This is a routine training event that happens every October. This year, the training will take place over Italy, Croatia, and the Mediterranean Sea. The exercise, according to Stoltenberg, is meant to ensure credibility, effectiveness, and security for nuclear deterrent. It is also meant to send a clear message that NATO will protect and defend all allies. The exercise, which started on October 16th, has been scheduled to run until October 26th, and will involve 13 different NATO allies and a various mix of aircraft types, including advanced fighter jets and U.S. B-52 bombers. The bulk of the training is held at least 1,000 kilometers from Russia's borders. Stoltenberg also mentioned the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine as a reminder of how important the role that NATO's nuclear weapons play in deterring aggression. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, which has been adopted since 1996, bans all nuclear explosions anywhere in the world. However, it has never actually been fully entered into force. The treaty was signed by both Russian and U.S. presidents. However, it has never been ratified by the United States. On Tuesday, October 3rd, it was also reported that a Russian diplomat plans to pull out of the treaty in an effort to be on par with the United States. However, it was also stated that they would only resume nuclear tests should Washington do so. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov stated to reporters that it will rescind said ratifications. However, they warned that should the U.S. commit to a nuclear test, then they will be forced to do the same. Stoltenberg stated that this move is a demonstration of Russia's lack of respect and has continued to disregard its international commitments. He also accused Russian President Vladimir Putin of trying to use this quote-unquote nuclear rhetoric to allegedly prevent NATO allies from supporting Ukraine.
Turning back now to local news, a former Clark County prosecutor is arrested for reportedly attempting to arrange sex with a minor.
Former Clark County prosecutor Tanner Castro has been charged recently due to accusations of child luring and attempted statutory sexual seduction charges. According to an arrest report, this came about when law enforcement officers were in the middle of conducting undercover operations for internet chatting applications Kik and Snapchat. During their operation, an officer who was posing as an underage girl was contacted by Tanner Castro, who allegedly turned the conversation sexual and agreed to meet the decoy to have sex. Castro additionally sent explicit photos of himself as well to the decoy, according to reports. Henderson police officers spotted Castro at the Whitney Mesa Park, where they allegedly arranged to have sex and promptly arrested him and took him into custody without incident. He has since posted bail, but is scheduled to be back in court on November 7th.
In more area news, a woman on a dirt bike flips over, sending her to the hospital. News 25 reporter David Preston has the details.
Jason Ernest of Mount West Lawyers. Don't be bullied by insurance companies. Call me, 775-727-9500.
A female driver on a motorcycle was traveling eastbound on Highway 372 against traffic on the dirt path late yesterday near West Mount Charleston Park when she hit a patch of gravel, flipping her bike and landing on top of her. The woman injured her leg and hands during this incident. Highway Patrol and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived at the scene. The woman was eventually taken to Desert View Hospital due to her injuries. According to the report, the woman driver was under the influence of alcohol. There were no other injuries.
Please don't grab that remote. News 25 will be back with much more local and national news.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, the Las Vegas sign is currently illuminating purple to commemorate Domestic Violence Awareness. Rory Rossell has this story.
The lights around the perimeter of the Las Vegas sign now shine purple in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Many Clark County officials were on scene, as well as the CEO of SafeNess, Liz Ortenberger. Liz Ortenberger and Clark County Commissioner William McCurdy II spoke during this event.
It's important that not only our residents, but our tourists alike understand that Domestic Violence Awareness Month is important to us. And when they come here to visit and take their pictures to celebrate being in Las Vegas, we want them to see this sign lit up in purple, knowing that Clark County stands squarely in support of domestic violence victims.
So today we're lighting the sign purple in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it's an important reminder to our community that this is a massive issue here. And we have our 15 of our partner agencies coming out, and there is a community response. And we take this work very seriously, and we're here to serve, and let's raise awareness around that.
Drivers out there, be extra careful because the Nevada Highway Patrol is once again partnering with other Nevada agencies for the Joining Forces program.
The Nevada State Police Highway Patrol is once again partnering in the Joining Forces program alongside other Nevada law enforcement agencies. The joint enforcement will begin on October 13th and will continue until the end of this month on the 31st. This enforcement program aims to help pedestrians and drivers to be aware of each other and share the road responsibly. In 2022, 89 pedestrians lost their lives in crashes that occurred on Nevada's roadway. In order to reverse these numbers, troopers will be further enforcing traffic laws and be on the lookout for traffic offenses made by both pedestrians and drivers. The Nevada State Police Highway Patrol would like to remind you that whether you are in a vehicle or on foot, stay alert and safely share the road.
And Death Valley National Park finally reopens following damages caused by Tropical Storm Hillary.
This past weekend on October 15th, Death Valley National Park partially reopened for visitation. The park is able to be entered through CA 190 from the west via Lone Pine or from the east via Death Valley Junction. Any other park entrances will remain closed for the time being. The roads that are being opened, however, are not yet fully repaired. Any segments of the roads that collapsed were filled in with gravel, so travelers should expect and be wary of the loose gravel on roads, lowered speed limits, and traffic delays. Speaking of traffic delays, CA 190 is also expected to have 1-hour delays between Panamint Springs and Father Crowley Vista. This is due to an extensive section of one-lane traffic control in the aforementioned area. Other places have been reported to have delays of up to 20 minutes for traffic control. The roads that will be open for travel and are not yet fully prepared are as follows: CA 190, Badwater Road, which is available only from CA 190 to Badwater Basin, Dante's View Road, 20 Mule Team Canyon Road, Artists Drive, Natural Bridge Road, Mustard Canyon, and Mosaic Canyon Road. The aforementioned roads will provide access to many of the park's popular viewpoints and hikes, which include the Mesquite Flat Sand Dunes, Zabriskie Point, Golden Canyon, and Mosaic Canyon. Lodging, food, and fuel are available at Panamint Springs Resort, Stovepipe Wells Village, and the Oasis at Death Valley, as well as various MPS campgrounds being open. Superintendent Mike Reynolds stated that this was the longest closure in Death Valley National Park's history. I am excited to welcome people back to enjoy their park. He also mentioned that Badwater Basin currently has a temporary lake that is several miles long. The lake is reported to be only a few inches deep and may dry up in a few weeks' time.
And if you're cleaning out your closet ahead of the holidays, we'll tell you how you can help area women when News 25 returns.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Thanks for staying tuned. Well, you can help women in need get dressed for job interviews by donating to a suit drive being held in Las Vegas.
In order to aid women returning to the workforce and achieve financial stability, the United Way of Southern Nevada began hosting its annual Women United Suit Drive on October 16th. This drive helps women prepare for interviews by giving business suits, dresses, and other necessities for women. Those who wish to donate to the cause can do so by dropping off business suits, dresses, hospital scrubs, shoes, and accessories to various locations. Donations will be accepted until November 3rd. Here are the listed locations for drop-off. The United Way of Southern Nevada, which is available from Monday to Thursday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Friday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Inspired Closets, which is available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Centennial Hills Library, Sunrise Library, Clark County Library, Spring Valley Library, Windmill Library, West Las Vegas Library, and Sahara West Library, which are all available Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Friday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those who wish to help by volunteering can do so by visiting the United Way of Southern Nevada on Thursday, November 2nd or Friday, November 3rd. Should you be interested in volunteering, email Dana Boldazar at danab@uwsn.org.
In today's health news, not only is October Domestic Violence Awareness Month, it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So women are being reminded to make sure that they're getting their annual mammograms. And for some, they might discover that they have dense breast tissue. So what does that mean exactly? And is it cause for concern?
Essentially, dense breast tissue refers to the amount of milk ducts and connective tissue in the breast. And the reason it's important with respect to screening for breast cancer is that dense breast tissue, or the connective tissue in the milk ducts, show up on the mammogram as white.
Dr. Laura Dean is a diagnostic radiologist for Cleveland Clinic. She says since dense breast tissue can show up as white on a mammogram, it can make it harder to spot breast cancer. That's because breast cancer also shows up as white. Self-checks at home can also be challenging since dense breast tissue tends to have more lumps and bumps. Dr. Dean says dense breast tissue is very common in women, and in some cases they may need additional screenings like an ultrasound or breast MRI. However, that is up to their physician to determine.
The other part that we're learning more about is how having dense breast tissue can increase your risk of breast cancer a little bit compared to women who don't have dense breast tissue. So women who have the most dense or the extremely dense tissue are about 4 to 6 times more likely to develop breast cancer in their lifetime compared to someone who has really fatty breast tissue.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a look outside through our Lerner and Rowe weather cam at this beautiful October sky. Not a cloud in the sky in that direction. Blue skies, great temperatures, and we'll take a closer look during weather.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios, all up and down the Ace Country Radio Network and to your mobile device on Facebook. Check out weather in Fernley, 77 degrees. 78 in Fallon, almost makes some twins, and Carson City returns with 77 degrees. Nice weather up north. 75 out in Tonopah makes them the Cool Spot Award winner for the state. Goldfield almost in the money at 77. Beatty, beautiful at 88. 92 in Amargosa makes them the hot spot. And in Las Vegas, it's perfect at 89 poolside if you're from Minnesota. Out in Death Valley, 101 degrees. And you can drive there and enjoy the weather you missed from like a month ago here in the Paradise of Pahrump. Let's take a look. Our current temperature, 83 degrees. Not too bad. 91 just a little bit earlier. It was a gorgeous afternoon. Winds out of the west, just 5 miles per hour. Perfect. Sunrose this morning at 6:52. Setting this evening looks like it's going away at 6:05. Boy, that's earlier and earlier all the time. Fans of the night, rejoice. You've reclaimed another couple minutes. Low tonight, 55 degrees, and the sun will set on clear skies. We'll see some beautiful stars and moon watching. Whatever you want to watch, just look up. All right, let's look at the rest of the week coming up. Sunshine next couple, 3 days. Not too bad. Temperatures in the lower 90s. Yielding to some cloud cover on Saturday and Sunday with winds kicking up just a little bit to 14 to 11 miles per hour. That'll be kind of the theme for the next 3-4 days. We see the cloud cover go away and the temperatures still dropping away as the earth cools off under those winds. 74 degrees Monday, 71 on Tuesday. Yeah, it's looking like a little more like fall weather. Less Indian summer, but more fall. All right, we like fall too. That's good. All right, back to the desk. Here's Unette.
Thanks so much, John. Nice to see things cooling down for fall. That does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, we'll see you on the air next newscast. Good night.